Well, this is a reason why you should not choose between A-Reece and Shane Eagle. Oh, this specific single that I'm about to break down was released and accompanied by a video, of course. This video, which alternates between the black and the white and the 90s color film look, strips off the usual glitz and glamour in hip-hop videos, of course, and shows the impoverished side of South Africa in keeping with the theme of the song. This song, of course, is titled Julia, and it is by Shane Eagle. Well, he opens up the first opening lines with these lines saying 90s, 90s, 90s repeatedly so. Why? Of course, you're asking yourself, why did he do that? Well, this instrumental, or beat as you may call it, was produced by Shooter Scoons. It is a basic boom bap beat that was popular back in the 80s and also the early 90s. The visuals of the song, of course, also have the 90s effect on them, as if the video was shot back then. You get it? Well, he also comes back now and says, I know you niggas never heard of this shit, it's that make your fan base never heard of your shit. Well, boom bap rap is a classic genre of hip-hop beats, of course, that dates back to the 80s and also the 90s. But here in South A, it is not popular, even though it is a basic rap component. But trap being the most popular in this country, most rappers have the biggest fan base in this music thing, of course, but the ignorance of their fans is what Shane Eagle is referring to, of course. It is high time that only 10% of people of the whole fanatics of rap know about the history of classic golden age of rap. That's why he had to say this. Well, he also says, I heard they are legalizing Mary Jane on the block, but you was quick to judge when you were smoking off the top. What is Mary Jane, you're asking yourself? Well, Mary Jane is another name for marijuana, of course. In South A, the High Court legalized the private use of the herb on the 31st of March in 2017 after Dagga Party leader Jeremy Acton and of course the Rastafarian Gareth Prince filed for its decriminalization. The South African government was, however, already proposing the legalization of marijuana for medical use as early as 2015. Well, now you know. Oh, this next one's, they get a little bit personal, if I may say. Shane says, now roll one and get lost in my thoughts. I try to picture life if I wasn't a rapper from start. Maybe college, of course. Well, smoking, of course, as you may know, it may cause paranoia and sometimes hallucination, mostly euphoria, making you think you do things better in your own way. Well, but in this case, Shane sees how the choice was right for him rather than being at school like many South Africans, but now tend out to stay at home with their diplomas and degrees, of course. Even though his thoughts are ironical, since education can never fail a person as compared to the unprofessional careers like rapping, of course. I like to also quote this as one of my favorite lines from the song, of course. Shane says, they rap about the diamonds, but never about the violence, and always about the jewels and never about the pools. Well, South African hip-hop has grown to be big, but the problem is that most rappers are only rapping about their success, and that it is an open story, nothing that inspires people who are listening, of course, or who are in distortion to, hey man, work harder. But hey, it's music. It's music. Well, as you may know that Shane Eagle is independent. Well, he signed himself and his, of course, label is Eagle Entertainment. On this line he says, yeah, I see them handpicking all these niggas for the hit. Well, as shown in the coming lines, he is now continuing with the critic of record labels who go out, of course, handpicking niggas for a record hit. They do that. Well, it's not only your eyes that get open when you listen to this song, but it also gives you a little bit of motivation, of course. He says now, remember not to eat where you motherfucking shit. Shane is saying never destroy what makes you better in life after you see success. Make sure you remember where you come from. Humble beginnings. Humble beginnings. We want the freedom on top of the cheese. You want the peace, the freedom on top of the cheese. You want the freedom on top of the cheese. Yeah, we want. It goes on and on and on and on, of course. This is a very core of this track. It is meant to be an anthem for the hustlers from black communities, of course, who want peace, freedom, and equality so that they become better nation, of course. Furthermore, as they continue to chase, of course, their cheese, that is a slang term for moolah, money, they should remember that the most important thing is their freedom that they have. And it's the freedom that they want. On these lines, he continues about the struggles of the black nation now. He now says, I get emotional to think about how far we done came. If you're not black, you don't understand the struggle the same. Black people have always been expected to be privileged when it came to being successful, but it is also the reason how those that make it forget to give back, or they get lost into the field that they are not used to now, of course. Well, we now continue to get the light on what was really happening in South R at the time that Shane Eagle was writing this song. Cause in these lines now, he says, Mr. President got the money in his pocket, my people starving. What was he meaning now? Well, the South African president at the time, of which was Jacob Zuma, he was involved in many legal issues at the time. Well, the previous years he has been interrogated many times in the parliament, of course, about the monies he built his home with. That is in Nkandla, that is located in KwaZulu-Natal, of course. That was not enough. He let India's biggest investors in South Africa and made them feed from the state's money. Those are the Guptas, in case you didn't know. Well, of course, sit back and enjoy. We are about to wrap it up. If you haven't, of course, subscribe, please. Hit the subscribe button down below. And of course, hit the like button down below, of course. On the very closing lines now, Shane says, now these niggas think I'm getting deep. Nah, my nigga, you too shallow. Well, as we know, that people tend to be jealous, that is shallow, when they see one starting to shine. That means deep. Well, hence moving out the townships, the gallows, as soon as the money comes, local people become jealous of success since misery loves company. Very rich thoughts by Shane Eagle. Very nice to close this breakdown. Well, as you may know, of course, if you haven't subscribed as of yet, please do so. If you have any comments, please comment in the comment section below. Of course, hit the like button. You are watching the coolest channel. It's this, it is that, it is ZA-Lex. Hey. Thank you for watching.